back to the wood shop, everybody. So this is part 2 now of building this insane miter saw stand. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building the main cabinet, the first cabinet for this miter saw, and then it's going to have the Festool vacuum system underneath it. So we're going to start working on that right now.
What we did is we just went out to the store, grabbed some more plywood so that I can start cutting all these panels out. I have a cut sheet right here, so I can start laying it out and start cutting. So let's use the track saw and get it done. So what's going on right now is I cut some panels for the cabinet, the first cabinet that I have to make for the miter saw station. So I have a top panel, a bottom panel, 2 side panels, and a backer board panel. So we got to put it together and make a cabinet. Let's make it happen. Alright, so I took the cabinet and I put it down on the ladder base and it's perfectly level. So the next step is to take this oak scrap piece that I found and make some 1/8 inch strips out of it so I can start laminating the plywood. And then what I'm going to do after that is make a poplar piece for the top so that the saw can rest on it. And that's going to overflow. Basically it's going to be like a waterfall type of thing for just the top. So that's what we're making, so let's make it happen. I'm going to be taking this router and going over to the cabinet and then flush trimming with this flush trim bit around all of the veneer that I just attached to the cabinet. So what I'm doing right now is I'm laying out for the outlet so I can cut a box in the back of this cabinet so that I can plug in the saw and the vacuum. So let's cut out this box with the jigsaw, and I'm going to pilot hole it with a hole saw first and then use my jigsaw to finish out the cut of the box. So let's finish this. do right now is I have 2-inch screws, and I'm gonna fasten the back of the cabinet on an angle. I'm gonna make it like almost like a pocket hole in the back, facing down into the ladder base, and I'm gonna drive it in with a 2-inch screw. Cabinet's installed, so the next part is to start making the countertop for the saw. So it's gonna be made out of poplar, so we'll start making it. So all the poplar is ripped down to 2-inch strips, so what we have to do is take all those strips, glue them together, and make a countertop. But before we do that, I have to take this walnut strip right here and add it to the front of this cabinet. So we're gonna do that right now. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a quick tip on how to actually align your strips of wood when you're doing glue ups for a panel or anything like that. So what I'm doing right now is basically, so if I had a board like this and a board like this, these are my strips. So this right here is 2 inches and this is 2 inches. You want to make sure that the grain on the end is going this way. And then this one is going up, like that. Because if you have them both going this way, like arches, this tends to warp and bend down, or whichever way that your grain is going. So you want to make sure you do that, and it'll make it nice and straight. And it'll keep it straight for a long time. just finished up gluing up the last seam on that poplar top. So while that's drying, I'm going to be working on the first drawer for this cabinet for the Festool vacuum. So I'm going to start cutting out the first panel for it. So let's go. So what I'm doing right now is something that you're not really supposed to be doing because nobody would really do it. So this is the thing what I'm doing. This is my idea and hopefully it works. So I'm gonna have to make some strips right here that are 1 inch by 3/4 for both these hardware pieces. These are undermount rails so that this piece can go on top of it. But those blocks are gonna be screwed to this panel so that I can drill a pilot hole in the back so it locks into these pivot points right here, so that the panel doesn't tip on the hardware. So what I have to do is make those blocks first, screw it to the panel, then figure out where the panel is going to be placed on this hardware because the hardware is shorter than the panel. So let's start making those blocks now and see where it goes. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So what I did is I screwed those blocks down that are 1 inch by 3/4. So what I did is I drilled a hole in the back so that the stabilizer pin on the hardware can fit inside of there just like so. Now the hardware also comes with an attachment piece which is just going to this panel. The hardware is not actually getting attached. The hardware is getting attached in the cabinet. The only thing that's attached to the drawer is this piece. So what I have to do is take this piece and I add another block which is 1 inch poplar, and this has to go on here like so to attach into the hardware. So I'm going to be attaching that right now, so here we go. The hardware's on, it worked out really nice. I'm really happy about that. So what I'm going to do now is make a front piece for this drawer, which is going to be 2.5 inch walnut by 3/4. So let's attach it onto here and make it happen. Let's go!
Okay, so we got the drawer, it's all finished and installed. So what we have to do now is we got to put a border around the whole thing so that way our Festool vacuum doesn't fall out while it's sitting on the drawer. So we're going to get to that right now. So we got the Festool vacuum inside the miter saw stand now, but one thing that is going to be changing is there's not going to be any doors on here because we kind of like the way it looks. We don't want to add those doors with those vents like we talked about before, so we're going to be eliminating that. Later on, we're going to be putting a drawer up here for more storage and other stuff like that, but this thing slides out really nice. Let me show you that right now. It easily just slides right out. And oh, look at that. There you guys are. Cool. So the next thing with this whole build that we got to do is we got to put a hole in the back here. We're using a hole saw because we need to get both the cord and the hose from the vacuum up to the miter saw. So we're gonna do that and then we're gonna finish up the top. So let's get it done. for staying all the way to the end of this video. We got our top installed here. We also drilled out that hole in the back so we can put our hose up there, connect it for our Festool vac, and also the cord down below plugs in. So the next thing that we're gonna be doing is we're making a little drawer here. It's gonna hold all of our different trinkets for measuring tools and things like that. So be sure to hit the subscribe button because you're not gonna wanna miss that video. Drop a like down on this video if you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, general concerns, always leave a comment down below. But yeah, just like that, guys, we gotta get to the next part of this build, so we're gonna roll that outro.